Yeah, I
Otherwise-
can.
Yeah, was it Mark?
I can give an update for that. So the Practice Standards Committee held its first meeting last Thursday. Just over half of our members were able to attend. Unfortunately, roughly half, one less than half, was not able to attend. So the primary point of discussion in the meeting was on how to conduct the election for chair and vice chair of the committee. We decided that due to the tight timeline and the fact that almost half of our members couldn't attend, that it would be prudent for us to give a bit more time for the election. So we sent out a list of the current candidates with everyone's statement, offered anyone else an opportunity if they wanted to raise their hand to be added to the ballot that they could do so. Also offered them the opportunity to ask questions of the candidates. And today, following this meeting, the official ballot will be emailed out. It will be an online ballot, and our members will be given 48 hours to make their selections. So our apologies. We just thought it was prudent to add a little bit more time since half of us couldn't attend.
Yeah, you don't have to apologize. This was more to set it all in motion, and thank you so much for all the efforts. And I'm pleased to hear that it's all in progress. And let us know if there are any questions or anything we can support you with in this process. Thank you, Bill, for leading this. And I see more people are now starting to join. And for those who joined a bit later, we've had a wrap up of the purpose why we have the meeting and that we're setting up the organization, and we are getting in new names so we know how the executive board will look like and how you're organizing the work in the committees. We have now the two councils as well that are being established. This is the first time. We did not have the Council of Affiliates in the last term, and also not the Council of Divisions. And may I ask you, Katina, you're on the call. I know you were leading the process for the Council of Affiliates. Can you report on the developments?
Absolutely, thank you. So the Council of Affiliates met last week virtually. We had the same challenge of trying to sort of get everybody together very quickly, but we did have a strong response to our poll, and we were able to get enough people to host a short Zoom meeting to get to know each other. And we released a ballot online last week, and we were able to elect a chair and a co-chair. So I was elected to serve as the chair this time. And I want to pronounce this correctly, so I'm going to look. And Saskia Degani will be the co-chair. So I don't think I see her here today, but we'll both.
She might join in very late. She apologized. So Saskia Degani, she is from Carreum in Switzerland. And she was part of the board in the last term. And congratulations, Katina, and look forward to see how this will all evolve. And I know many on this call is also in the Council of Affiliates as members, representing organizations and networks like myself. I was in there as Literacy Europe, and so thank you to everyone for making this work in the coming 3 years. Let's go to the Council of Divisions. I don't know if Teresa.
She's joined by phone. Teresa, are you on?
Hi. Super.
Yes, I'm here.
Good, Teresa.
Hi, everyone. I'm Teresa Wagner. I'm an assistant professor at the University of North Texas Health Science Center and clinical executive for Safer Care Texas. I also started our health literacy nonprofit here in Texas called Health Literacy Texas. I've been involved in health literacy work since about 2012 when I started my doctoral degree, and with IHLA, not too long, like 2018 or so, but last year, or the last couple of years, I served as the unofficial chair of the Council of Divisions and Interest Groups, helping to coordinate for the last summit. But anyway, similarly to the other processes that have been described, we had to do everything virtually because of time zones and short timelines. And so we did exactly what was described before in terms of sending out the names of those who were potential candidates, asking for others to volunteer. No one did. We sent out a ballot. And so myself will be acting or elected as chair, and Kevin Ling will be co-chair.
Thank you so much, Teresa, for this and for the update and for the work conducted. And it means that you will be representing the Council of Divisions in the Executive Board.
Yeah, and our first meeting will be next Tuesday, the 29th at 7 a.m. Central Time. I'm not sure what that plays out as everyone else's, but that's when our first meeting will be.
Yeah. So let me just check with you in the chat here if I got it right. So the confirmed new board members we will have from this meeting is Rob Logan from the Election Committee, Toin van Duang in the Research Standard Committee, Katina, you are representing the Council of Affiliates, and Teresa from US representing the Council of Divisions. And then we will hear the name of the practice standards during this week from you, Bill. Thanks and getting up. And then we will have move on with the work of appointing the remaining committees and select a representative from there. Sabrina, yeah.
I do see that Kevin Ling is on as the vice chair, and perhaps we can have Kevin Ling introduce himself. And I don't know if Saskia has also joined, but also the vice chair for the Council of Affiliates if she's joined.
Yeah, that would be great. Kelvin, over to you. Please introduce yourself. Great.
Hi there, everybody. I'm Kelvin. I'm from Hong Kong. I've been teaching health literacy, health communications for about like 10 years now at the Hong Kong Metropolitan University and also Chinese University of Hong Kong. So I am very relatively new to this organization. So I would like to actually brought this huge topic to our Asian counterparts and do more research and do more quality practices within our region. So I'm very happy to be here, and yeah, I would like to learn from you all.
Thank you so much. Good to see you, and thank you for volunteering for this position. And Saskia, welcome also. And Saskia will be working with Katina in the Council of Affiliates. Saskia, can you introduce yourself?
I don't know if I see Saskia on. Is she on
Still,
yet?
she might come.
Yeah. Well, I will watch for her to
Yeah,
come.
that's good if she comes in. Good. Let me just, well, welcome everyone and congratulations for those who were elected and appointed here for the executive board and the other positions, and also everyone else in the committees. Let me just go back to the presentation for a while, just to catch up. Okay, what are we here to do? So now we have the formalities in order, and it's up to you now to meet at a regular, on a regular basis. And I'll just run quickly through the terms of, or some issues from some of the points from the terms of references that you have probably also already studied. But the role of the Council of Affiliates really to represent the interest and common concerns of the IHLA affiliate members and accommodate relations between the affiliate members and the rest of the bodies in the organization, and assist in communication and collaboration, and report to the board and help develop IHLA policies internally and externally, and also to help facilitate programming in the IHLA Summit, which we are organizing every 3 years. And similarly, the Council of Division will then represent the divisions and the interest of the and common concerns of divisions, and help facilitate the relations across the organization, and represent the concerns in the board, and help organize activities and organize also the part in the IHLA Summit on the program where the Council of Divisions and intergroups are represented. And for the research committee, it's about reaching out to the interest groups and divisions to review and develop the work on research, and to develop guidelines that can improve and inform health literacy research standards and support the IHLA program. And the same for practice here, then it's about reviewing the work of IHLA throughout the organization in terms of our practice, and develop standards and guidelines to improve standards or improve health literacy practice, and again also integrate it into our summit. And you're also open for everyone, all of the committees, to host other events, webinars, and so on. We'll come back to this in a moment. And the election committee is to support good governance of IHLA and to plan, host, and evaluate IHLA nomination and elections, and host regular meetings. So these are the main commitments that you are asked to do. But then we have, as I mentioned in the beginning, overall this vision of professionalizing IHLA as a global voice on health literacy. So I encourage all the committees and the councils now to study the terms of reference in more detail and decide among yourself, where will you start? What will be the plans that you want to achieve in the first year and within the 3 years that you are here? How will you do it? How will you reach out to other IHLA members and also to our external relations? How will you meet? You already seen in these 2 weeks here that have passed that it is sometimes quite challenging when we are across the world. Sometimes it's possible to do it in one meeting. Sometimes you might have to schedule 2 meetings to accommodate the time zone difference. And that depends a bit on the constellation of your members in the committee, how you can do it the best way. We encourage you that you have quite a few regular meetings here in the beginning to get it all into motion and get it started. It can be once or twice a month here until you've settled on the ideas, and then also it's important to know that it's not only the meetings but really also the work in between meetings that will benefit our members. So how will your work help grow the membership? What can we do for our members? What can we do with our members to distribute and share the knowledge about all the good things that are happening? It can be, as I mentioned, webinars, it can be events, it can be publishing books or publishing papers, it can be reviewing guidelines, developing standards, and so on. You can brainstorm, it's all open. We are keen to hear any ideas that can help develop health literacy for all. And I mentioned the vision statement that was generated after the summit, and we will share it with all committees and councils because there's so many good ideas hidden there, and that was developed with support of our members. So these are the grounds, well, the foundation for your work in the next 3 years. So let me open the floor for any questions or comments that you have at this stage. Maybe we can start with Sabrina and Orkan and Peter and Sasha to make a few comments and then questions. Orkan.
Yeah, thank you so much, Christine. That was an excellent presentation and overview about the IHLA work for the years to come. I'm Orkan Okan. I am Vice President of IHLA, and I will support Christine and the rest of the leadership, also the colleagues that were just invited to take part in the executive board. But as I said earlier, I understand myself also to be a facilitator and mediator between all the different committees, councils, interest groups and divisions that we have between them and the IHLA leadership. So I would like to engage as much as I can together with you in the work you have to do. You can send me comments. You can also invite me to your meetings, send me recommendations, comments, and I will, besides all the regular channels that just were introduced by Christine, help to facilitate them to the executive board and support you in developing your vision and conducting your work. So don't hesitate to contact me and invite me to your meetings. Thanks.
Thank you, Orkan. And then Peter Tang.
Hi, it's a great pleasure to attend the second town hall meeting. And apparently we have more citizens in this town hall meeting. And it's a great occasion for us to know each other, but also to extend the good work being done in the last 5 years. I've been very happy to invite all of you to also join our 3-year member IHLA activities. We will have the 8th annual conference in Asia by October this year. I hope that many of you will be able to participate. But meanwhile, we are trying to set up this affiliate as a regional activity. And I hope there will be many regional activity of IHLA will follow after these new programs, this new term. Very happy to talk further with you soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. And Sabrina?
I just want to thank all of you for taking this next step. I really look forward to working closely with the chairs, the vice chairs, and the whole groups, especially, for example, just keeping for Teresa and Kelvin Ling. Thank you so much for taking on the Council of Divisions and Interest Groups in terms of keeping track of which divisions and interest groups we have are active, who are the chairs, what their activities are, and engaging them. These interest groups are really our members and the work, and we can have webinars and presentations and engage people and create resources. It's just content development that can come from our members doing the work in the field. The Council of Affiliates, thank you so much, Katina and Saskia, for taking that on. That is a whole new entity. I mean, it is part of our, our bylaws and our constitution. It's very important to the structure of the organization, and really look forward to seeing how this Council of Affiliates, these organizational members, play out as vital activists and active members within the organization. So that's also very exciting. And then there's the committees on research, practice, and elections. Again, this work of those groups are really formalizing and also professionalizing the field of health literacy, and kind of your leadership is going to be really vital to the field of research and practice of health literacy globally. What are our standards? What are our expectations? What kind of support can we provide professionals that are doing the work out in the field to help folks do quality work, which includes both research and our practice. And then, of course, we want to be inclusive and in terms of our elections and engagement. And that's really valuable to all the groups in terms of growing membership, diversifying membership, and being as inclusive as we possibly can. So just that's what I wanted to say for now. And I'm really looking forward to hearing more from the groups in terms of what your challenges are and questions and how far you've gotten so far. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And then I would like to ask Sasha to give a remark, and then we see some remarks in the chat from all of you. Sasha.
Thanks, Christine. I just want to echo what Sabrina and Orkin said, and to add to that, just as you're going about your committee work, just thinking about how your committees can contribute to the financial health of the organization, be it putting on different webinars or whatever for our membership, so that we can have an engaged membership and visibility that's going to help with us getting more affiliates on board, with us getting more members. And just also, as you're thinking about the financial health, thinking through if you or other people you know who are interested in literacy and health literacy with strong financial background and fundraising backgrounds are available and willing to extend yourself some more to serve on the appointed finance committee and fundraising committee, please reach out to me. And anything you're thinking about as a committee or individually, and how we can move towards a financially healthy organization where we can have paid staff to do some of the heavy lifting, especially that Sabrina is currently doing. The faster we could get to the point, I think the stronger we will be as an organization, and the higher likelihood of long-term sustainability. So I'm looking forward to working with all the committees, and definitely feel free to invite me to your meetings. I am available. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let me turn to the chat, and our colleague here has Sivan Saravati. Maybe you can raise your comment here, Sivan, if he's and introduce yourself.
Hi, what I wanted to share was that in addition to what was shared by the core group members, I would like to, all the members would like to see a timeline for the committees, so that we are all on we know what is ahead of us, and we are all on the same page. And also a timeline and job responsibilities.
Yeah.
So that it is
Thank
clear.
you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for raising this point. So the idea is that as soon as we have the board as well, we can meet together, and we can start the work on the overall work plan with the timeline, as you also highlight, so that we can ask for from each of the committees and the council that you can schedule your events and activities into the greater work plan, and we can compile it from the board. All of the committee and councils are now represented in the board and can report on what you decide, so that we can create an overall work plan for IHLA that is grounded in the work done in the committees and the councils. And hereby it would be really important with the timeline. And that's why I'm asking, what do you plan for the first year, so that we are sure activities are happening already this year for and with our members? And what do you think will take a bit more time and will happen within the 3 years that this term will be, and eventually looking towards the summit where it all comes together. Thank you. Then it's a question. Let me scroll through here in the chat.
Christine, I'm also interested if any of the groups were able to go a little further than the election and start to build their work plan, if folks could kind of report on that and how far they may have gotten or what some of the challenges may be.
Well, I didn't say this in my report, but the Committee on Elections and Nominations definitely has a framework, okay, for a work plan for that, and also a mission statement that has been distributed to the members and is under review. I wouldn't say that. I would say that it's a document in progress rather than a fait accompli. But nevertheless, we have definitely a plan to move forward. I'm not going to go into details of the plan at this time.
But yeah, listening to our colleague Sivan, who also said, what are the tasks? We can again send out the terms of reference, and these were suggestions and building also on the constitutions, but every committee is invited to evaluate if that's the best way to move forward and help evaluate what is relevant to do in the next 3 years. The world is changing around us, as you all know, so the priorities may change.
Christine, I see Saskia just joined.
Yeah, hi Saskia, good to see you. Saskia, would you mind just introducing yourself shortly? We know you will be the vice chair of the Council of Affiliates. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yes, of course. I'm Saskia. I'm working at the Karim Foundation, and I'm head of the Centrum for Health Literacy since September 2020. And I have been also a member of the Executive Board Europe in the IHLA for the last 2 years. And I'm working in these fields for now around 4 to 5 years. I have studied originally human movement sciences and sports, and did a PhD in human physiology, and then changed to the public health area and the field of health literacy specifically. And yeah, we are very interested to host the next Global Health Literacy Summit in 2024. And yeah, it will be a pleasure to try to get that to Zurich.
Yeah, that's great. We haven't even touched upon that. We've just been speaking about the summit in general terms. But indeed, the organization wherein Saskia is working have reached out and are invited to help us with the summit the next summit in 2024. One of the issues that have been raised by some of you during the years is also, should we keep having it every 3 years, or should we have an international meeting every year? How does it correspond with regional activities? I see already in the chat that some of you are sharing links to upcoming events, which is great. We in the Constitution, it says that it's every 3 years, also because it is quite a work to develop and organize it, and that's why we have decided to set up a specific appointed committee on for the summit, not only a task force, to really acknowledge the many hours that goes into organizing such an event. And we can inform that Diane Levin-Zamir, who was chairing the steering group last time, she has kindly acknowledged and confirmed that she would lead the work again towards the next summit. So that's the great news. I know Araceli, maybe I can ask you to talk a bit about how we can improve our communications in the committees and the council. You had some great ideas when we met earlier this week in the Council of Affiliates. Would you mind sharing some of those ideas again, so that as an inspiration, so that each committee and council can decide on their own how they want to proceed?
Sure. And actually, we have a brief discussion. May have that as one of our group agenda items to work on, kind of a guidelines on communication and also guidelines to help groups meet. And we talked briefly about choosing one or no more than two mediums of communication. Somebody suggested WhatsApp. And we talk about also a few guidelines for preventing one, miscommunication, and two, of course, having, I would say, a stream of emails, chats, communication that end up in nothing, but everybody has to read, and that goes to everybody. So a few of the things that I actually mentioned, because I have worked in other groups, is, for example, having the subject kind of when there is an important email or chat in which everybody needs to either vote or comment or give an opinion that everybody has to hear because we have to move on, put something sort of like a needs response. So everybody knows that that's the most important to read and also to give feedback. So we will, of course, that's just some ideas so far. And one of the things that I would like our group to work on is that. So we will be glad to share all of those that we come up with, whether we make it official to IHLA or just make it available to all of the groups, working groups, for them to adopt. However we decide to do it, hopefully we'll come up with a list of good communication guidelines for the groups and work groups.
Thank you so much. Yeah, and as many of you are already engaged in several entities within IHLA, and also I know you are very busy with work outside IHLA and also want to spare time. It is really helpful, really, really helpful if we can try to be short and concise in emails and really think about every email that you send, that is to avoid any overload. And also find the best way within your committee that works for you, especially taking geographical representation into account. And I know my poor colleagues here from the Americas, you always wake up really early to be part of these meetings. And as in Europe, we sacrifice lunch and afternoons and have to have really patient bosses saying, and where we always have to explain that we have our meetings in the afternoon or lunch or afternoon. And then our Asian colleagues, it's very often in their evenings. So, thank you to all your families and friends that are very patient with us, that you can join any meeting. So, for example, in a few days, I would have a meeting at 11 o'clock at night because there are representatives from the west side of US and New Zealand, and it's so difficult to find a time that suits everyone. So try to help each other to find the best way possible that can accommodate good communication and good solutions and can keep the workflow. That's really what we would like to see, that it's not only, you're in the committees as of a name, but really come out with really good outputs and outcomes, so that we can help more in terms of health literacy.
I have a logistical question, Christine.
Mm-hmm.
We have interest groups, but we have a lot of members, and not all belong to the interest groups. So how are we going to, first of all, my question is, can members start working on a group issue or committee without having really be part of that group? on a temporary basis for a project, for a whatever the issue is at work at that particular time with the group. One. And two, how are we going to invite members to keep, working, volunteering, and of course, belonging to the interest groups or the other committees?
So Sabrina has really been the spider in the web for all this, and Teresa was the focal point for the divisions and so on. So we've had some key people, but it will, I think, be up to all of us, to all the committees, to help strengthen the ties towards those who are engaged in divisions and interest groups, but also those who are not yet there. One major challenge that Sasha reflected upon is, of course, our financial situation. And there is the idea that we will move towards a paid organization. Most organizations do have some kind of a fee. And we might expect that there will be some changes in our membership when we move from a free network organization to an established membership paid organization. So let's see how we can make a smooth transfer and see eventually who will be there. And we know that probably about 300-400 people are really, really keen and engaged in the community, and you see their names publishing or part of conferences and events. And then there are more, let's say, followers that are in the outer circles. Sabrina, yeah.
Yeah, just to add on what you just said, Christine, and respond to Araceli, anyone can propose an interest group. Any member who has an interest related to health literacy may propose an interest group and can start an interest group. And that would, again, be between, we do have now our council, Teresa and Calvin who will help communicate that. So that's one thing. We do have 1,800 members at this point, but as Christine said, about 300 to 400 of them are active, members. So again, that's the work of all the divisions and all the committees and all the councils, is to really encourage and grow membership. The more individual members we have, the better. The more engaged, the more organizational members that we have, the better. And the question is, what interests people? How can IHLA serve those involved in health literacy around the globe? I mean, that's really what's going to make the difference. If we're able to provide and support folks that are wanting to do work in whatever ways they want to do that work.
I'm dealing personally with the issue that Araceli raised a few moments ago. So let me give an example, okay? We have a couple of healthcare practitioners. They're in different fields in the middle part of the United States, who are very interested in what they claim is, and they published them on this, a total lack of knowledge about neuromuscular skeletal health information among young people. Okay, and they approached me about 3 weeks ago and said, we're interested in this topic. What do we do? And I said, well, let's look at the interest groups that exist and see whether anybody does that work. Okay, and no one does. After they reviewed, and so then they issue them, and this is where it is right now. I've told them, you can get started and do anything you want to do, but I strongly suggest you start an interest group inside the organization and see if other people will join you. Okay, and have this interest and share information about the research and practice in the area. That's how to do it. It's not a question of working inside or outside the system. You take a look and see what interest groups exist. If they do, then you work with them. If they don't, then you literally are absolutely free to start your own.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for the clarification and inspiration. Thanks. So we are up to the hour and just have a few minutes left. So for the next steps, we encourage you to meet as soon as you can to formalize the appointments and to discuss the work plan. Meanwhile, we will take initiative to meet with all the new appointed confirmed members of the board, so have the first official board meeting. We will also again make town hall meetings and also a larger membership meeting with inviting all interest groups and divisions and all our members to inform about all the formalities that have now taken place in the last couple of months. So we've had a standard to meet once a month in the board. We will probably do that here as well in the beginning to get us started. I imagine the town hall meetings could be once or twice every 3 months, depending on what kind of activities that are there. It might be that there is a town hall meeting for you as being members of the committees and the council, and another one for the wider wider membership. So basically a town hall meeting for the members and a town hall meeting for the management and governance structure like you're part of. That's the idea on how we want to move forward. So you can expect another town hall meeting here in some weeks' time when we have the appointed committees in place and the full board in place, just to inform and update you. And for that meeting, it would also be good to have already your ideas on how you want to proceed and what you plan for the spring and summer and after the summer. So let me thank every one of you for taking the time. Today is so good to finally see you, have the vibes here. I wish you success with the next steps. And please know that you can always reach out to us, either me, Sabrina, Orkan, Sasha, and Rob, and everyone, the chairs, vice chairs, start to establish the contacts, because that's where we bring the organization to life. Thank you so much, and we stay in touch. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Good job.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Have a good day or good night.
Yeah, you too.
Sabrina and Christine, can I talk to you a minute?
Yes.
Certainly.
Wow, I'm just wondering if you